Just to make sure.
Okay, this is the detention docket for July 6th, 2021. Explain something before I get started. So Edwin.
The judge told me.
Please be quiet. We can hear you inside here. Sure. Thank you. All right. So when a child is brought to our facility, the law says you have to see the judge within 2 business days. And then I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. I'll explain this process to you. The way it starts out is you'll be brought in and I'll have a report that says basically what the police report says or a summary of that. That'll tell me why you're brought in here. I need to make a finding if there's probable cause that you've committed an offense. What probable cause means, it's a legal term that means can somebody articulate, can somebody put into words a series of statements that if they were true would be a violation of our laws. If so, then the next step I have to determine is whether to detain you or release you. That decision is based upon things like whether I feel like you'll be a danger to yourself, a danger to others if I was to release you, if you're likely not to appear in court, if you've previously been adjudicated for a felony, if I feel like there's not adequate supervision at home or in the community for you. If that's the case, then I'll order you detained and then we will see you 10 days from today. Now, I am absolutely certain there's information that I will not have today. There will be no witnesses, there'll be no exhibits. This will all be based on hearsay on what a third person says. What are you doing with your fingers? What are you doing with your fingers? You don't put your fingers in your lap? You don't put your hand in your lap? So the part you weren't listening while you're cracking the bones in your fingers is I'm the one deciding whether to release you or not, and whether there's adequate supervision in the home, or whether it's appropriate to release you or not. As I was saying, I'm absolutely certain there's information I will not have today. This is all based on hearsay. If there is information that you feel like is relevant to your case or is important for me to know, there will eventually be a trial in your case. Today is not your trial. This is not about whether you actually committed an offense or not. This is simply about deciding whether to detain you or not. I advise you to tell your attorney the information that you feel like is going to be relevant. Also want to let you know that you also have certain rights at this hearing. You do have a right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything at all. In fact, I encourage you to say nothing. However, if you give up that right, then nothing you say at a detention hearing can be used against you at any other kind of court proceeding. The reason why I don't want you to say anything is because there are district attorneys, prosecutors that are here in this courtroom taking notes. I don't want you to say anything that puts yourself in a worse situation. You also have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so we'll go and start. You're Morgan? Okay, Morgan. Yes. Thank you. All right, Morgan, so you've been here for a month now. You're 15 years old, never been here before. This offense, 4th PD dispatch to domestic, got there. Mom, do we have mom here? Okay, hello, Mom. Oh, this is where you were aggressive to your mom because she was late picking you up and you told her you were gonna F her up. And then you want to fight your mom, and then when she tried to push you away from her, you grabbed her arms, took her to the ground, and punched her. And so, all right. Also, so there's previous assault. With the psychological set for July 15th, and court on August 6th. All right, so Mom, you're here again. I remember seeing you 2 weeks ago. So have you been able to talk to Morgan while she's here?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been able to visit her by chance?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Are you noticing a kind of change in Morgan?
Yes. She's got better control over herself, it seems.
Okay. Do you think she appreciates how allegedly her decisions got her into this situation?
Yes, it's coming around. She's definitely getting a better grip on that.
Okay. So my question for you now is, if I was to release her to you, do you feel like you would be safe in your home?
Yes.
Now, does Morgan have an issue of sneaking out at night or running away?
I have suspicions. I have no proof.
Okay. No, I understand. So I see she's been level 1 outstanding for a couple weeks now, which means that she's actually learned how to follow the rules and respect the rules. So Morgan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and release you on electronic monitor. Okay. And then the monitor is about a month. As long as you do everything right, Alonzo will let me know. We'll take it off. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You've shown to me, you know what it takes to follow the rules to get out of here. I'm expecting you to follow those same rules at home. Okay. You're level 1 outstanding here. Be level 1 outstanding at home. That means the DNAs, right? Don't have any of the slow to comply, refuse to participate, any of those things. Just do what you're supposed to do and you and your mom will be fine. But when you start breaking the rules, then you're just going to come back here. Okay? All right, let's try it out. Thanks, Morgan. Thanks, Jenna. Leonardo.
Bring me up first.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Mesa.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Leonardo, 16 years old. You've been here for 2 weeks now. Back on June 19th, Fort PD brought you in, saying about 12:30 that morning, they were dispatched a robbery call. 3 male victims said they went to abandoned buildings when you might smoke some weed. When they got there, Hispanic male and 3 black males next to a gold Honda who asked if they want to smoke weed inside the building. Police said after everyone entered the building, victim reported that the Hispanic male pulled out handguns, pointed at the victim, said, "Get on the effing ground." Car keys, money, phone taken, and they left in the Honda and the victim's Kia. Later, police found the gold Honda at a traffic stop, and you were the only person in the car, and you were ID'd by the victim as the Hispanic male in the robbery. Don't know if the gun was recovered or the stolen car was recovered. All right, so, you know, I'm gonna let you know that I take instances with children with guns with the highest level of seriousness. All right, I know you've been level 1 outstanding for 2 weeks. That just doesn't make me comfortable enough to release you because, well, allegedly there was a gun used in an aggravated robbery. You have to understand this is the most serious thing that can happen. Until somebody dies, then it becomes a capital murder. All right, so do we have a parent here, by chance? Hello. Okay, so right now he's doing the right thing, but it's just so serious robbing people with a gun that I'm just not comfortable releasing him anytime quickly. He's gonna have to show me a pattern of behavior over a period of time that it would be safe to the community to release him. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew Tazaretta. Yes. Thank you. All right, Andrew. Been here for 2 months. You're level 2 acceptable. Go figure. So this is one traffic stop, searching for 3 people that ran. From the vehicle. Police got out. They noticed the subject, you Andrew, laying on the ground with the hands up. When he was being approached, they found an AR-15 pistol on the ground within your wingspan. And you said you ran because you're in possession of a firearm. I don't recall this one. He's also the one that told the cop that he could have shot him if he wanted to, right? Yep. And you're on probation for aggravated robbery. And you're on probation, smoking weed, picked up with another gun. Stephanie, is this one set? Psychological. Why are we getting a psychological on this one?
Judge Porter ordered place to search on him and his psychological evaluation. And we're going to cite and the court.
So he's been approved for replacement.
Yes, but it's like they want to psychological
Who's they?
replacement.
Hasn't he already been on placement?
He went to placement issue.
Didn't I cancel the placement search for him?
No, not for him. Judge Porter ordered it after last hearing.
Ms. Jacobson, is there, I mean, I'm just curious, what was the argument to make Judge Porter think we need another placement search?
My understanding from what happened at the placement, which I believe was Woodward, he does very well in those type of placements, and we're hoping that if he were to be there for a little bit longer of a period of time, that would solve any of the issues we have as far as bringing them on.
Okay, so why is he level 2?
Making, closing his room. Not following
Making what?
closing his room, not following instructions, slow to comply, little things like that.
Is it determinate sentence or indeterminate on the aggravated? You know,
No, it's indeterminate.
indeterminate?
Mhm.
How quickly can we send it? How can we send it quicker than that? Yeah, let's just go ahead and cancel placement search. I'm given his attitude today, his behavior back here. I just don't think placement's appropriate. I mean, if he's behaving back here, it'd be different, but clearly Andrew has no desire to do the right thing, no desire to be rehabilitated. So, I mean, it's kind of, he's telling us what he thinks is appropriate. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel placement search, cancel psychological. Stephanie will set this on a motion to modify.
Yes, sir.
All right, Andrew, you get what you want. parent here for him? No? Okay. We'll give you a fair amount of time. But it is what it is. I mean, here's what you asked for. Ray. Yes. Thank you. All right, Ray, been here for 2 weeks now. Halton PD did a traffic stop, 49 and 35. Stop, smelled weed. 5 of the 64 juveniles, and you're in the back. And then they searched the car, backpack that you claimed was yours. They found some Russian 9mm ammunition in your backpack and a 9mm pistol, which had the same ammunition in the console. So you were charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. Found some weed. The adult was taken off outstanding warrants, and other juveniles produced their parents. I agree with Harry here. Hi, Grandma.
Hi.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, we know not. Do you know this adult Trakenan Sims?
No,
Like, why was Ray out at 3:30 in the morning? Do we know?
no,
Does he sneak out a lot?
no.
Well,
Well, he worked, you know, and he come home, you know, but the day, you know,
I'm sorry?
he was working, you know.
Okay.
He get up at 11, I think. But the friends,
So he gets off at 11, but he's not back by 3:30.
yeah, no, he was not at home.
So how often does this happen?
No, that was the first time. I used to go pick him up, but he said he's gonna work late and he have a ride, so I don't pick him up.
So the first time he stays late, that he works late, finds his own ride, he's now caught in a car smoking weed tied to a gun.
Yeah, well, I give him the advice, you know, I told it, I said, the friends, they're not your friends. But, you know, these teenagers. But
So
I don't
where's-
have no problem with him.
Where's mom and dad? Well, so let's stop here because back in 2019, he was forging money and he has a criminal mischief case. And he had restitution on that case, which he hasn't finished paying. So, like, you can't say this is the first time,
Yeah,
right?
No, the second time.
Third time,
Don't start, oh,
third time. So where's mom and dad for Ray?
her daddy have 4 kids. The mama left with 4 kids to my son, but my son passed away, probably 3 years ago.
Okay,
So I take over the kids.
so dad has passed away and mom is gone.
Yeah, and she never come and see the kids or nothing, but so I took care of 4 kids.
Judging grandmother did make a payment towards restitution at the last.
I saw that. 300 of 319 is paid. All right, so I see his behavior, Ms. Guerrero, his behavior dropped on June 25th. How far did it drop down?
Level 1 acceptable,
Okay, for what?
wearing his mask inappropriately.
Okay. All right, Ray. Tell you I'm gonna go ahead and release you. I'm glad your grandmother made that payment for the restitution. I'm also gonna release you on electronic monitor. As a large part has to do with the fact that even though other people around you were smoking weed, you decided not to. And that when you're making good decisions, it seems like you're behaving back here. So I've always tried to reward good decision making. Just like, you know, if you had refused the UA, I probably wouldn't be letting you go today. The fact that you gave the test and you were clean, that tells me that you're probably just hanging around the wrong people. I'd probably listen to your grandma about who you're supposed to hang out with. And so if she tells Miss Guerrero here that you're hanging out with people that you shouldn't be, then we'll have a bed waiting for you. Okay? All right, thank you, Ray.
We're set July 15th, Your Honor.
We are set July 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Christopher. Yes. Yes. Oh, just everybody, if you're wearing a mask in here, if you want to wear one, go ahead. If you want to take it off, that's fine. Like, nobody cares either way. All right, Christopher, you've been here for, well, a little over 2 weeks. And his behavior is level 2. Ms. Hunt, why is it level 2?
It looks like it was non-compliant, refusing to enter the program and then not wearing a mask properly
Okay.
twice.
Christopher, so he's got their Chevy pickup, 2 people, and with the wrong license plate. So got out there, put you in cuffs, asked you step on the curb. There's a bicycle, I guess, in the back that I did stolen recently. Mom, are you here? Hello? Your housing situation settled now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are we gonna do with Christopher? I mean, yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's
He's
okay,
gonna go to the Phoenix house,
okay,
in Dallas until they get a bed in Austin. And
okay.
then he's gonna go to Austin.
Are they ready to take him right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because he's on, I mean, he's gotten you evicted right before because of his behavior. And so he's also smoking weed, but I think he's also has some mental health needs.
Yes, sir.
So Christopher, you understand, if you've got mental health issues, you can't smoke marijuana because that messes with any prescription or the doctor's prescribed you. That's just where you are in life, okay? You didn't ask for it, I didn't ask for it, just what it is. You just can't co-medicate with something else, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna have problems with the criminal justice system for the rest of your life. And you're on probation for burglary. And you run away while you're on probation. All right, so Ms. Hunt, we're trying to do a substance abuse evaluation?
We did already, Your Honor, that's why Phoenix House gave that suggestion.
Okay, so what's your recommendation?
I would honor that recommendation as a residential,
Just release him to Phoenix House?
yes, Your Honor, maybe even with the EM if that's a.
Well, Phoenix House inpatient or is residential treatment, right?
Residential.
Well, Mr. Dick, or I asked you, Christopher, or Mr. Adams, like, he's level 2. Like, why should I release him to someplace else to cause problems someplace else? Like, if he can't even behave here, Christopher?
About that, about the mask, like,
I'm not worried about the mask.
so, like, I was, like, the whole time, I wasn't even, like, I was outstanding the whole time.
Well, until you went to level 2.
I mean, yeah, until then, but like, otherwise, I was good.
You know, I don't care about the otherwise, I care about the level 2, right? And that's what life is. Life will judge you based on your worst behavior, not your best behavior, right? except your mom. Your mom will look at you on your best behavior. But everyone else, the law, the court, bosses, when you start working, they'll just look at your worst and that's all they care about. So my question again, I'm not thinking about the times you were good, I'm talking about the times you messed up. Like, why should I let you go and mess up the program at Phoenix House for other kids?
Because I believe that I've improved ever since I've been here. Whether if I job level, I believe my mom needs a lot of improvement while I have been.
So you're pretty much telling the judge you're going to take advantage of the Phoenix House program.
You're not taking,
You're not taking advantage of it.
like, I want, like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're going to take advantage of the chance to do better when you get to Phoenix House. That's what you're telling the judge, right?
What are my options, Christopher? Like, if you're having problems, Phoenix House unsuccessfully discharges you. All right. What am I looking at then? Like, how many chances do you need? That's what I'm asking.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Just one more thing.
Like, I'm okay giving you the chance. Like, I want to see you succeed. But I'm also curious. I can't spend my time bringing you back and forth with me, right? But you understand, you're asking me for this chance, right?
Yes, sir.
You're saying that you're asking me to trust you this time to do the right thing, to take care of your business.
Yes, sir.
I will give you what you're asking for. Let's try it. See how it works. I don't want to see you here. Now, here's the thing. I bet you, if you just respect your mom and listen to what she says, you and I will never see each other again. But if you do your own thing, man, it's gonna be tough. All right? Let's try it, Christopher. Alyssa, thank you, Ms. Hunt. No, yeah. Yes. Thank you. All right, Alyssa, 17 years old. JPS police brought you here on a warrant that Judge Terry issued. And yeah, so you were brought to the hospital by ambulance for Emily using drugs or ODA. And he split on you. So we have a psychiatrist coming on August 5th. We have mom here?
Mom was not able to make it, but, Alyssa's grandmother's here, as a spoiled person for the family.
Okay. So, I guess grandma, like Alyssa was living with the boyfriend
She ran away and I guess she was living with a boyfriend
for how long?
sometime around Thanksgiving.
December 10th, y'all heard until June.
Yeah. All right, Alyssa, I'm not okay with 17-year-old girls living out on the streets or with boyfriends. You have to be where your parents tell you to be. So, and the fact that you're gone for so long just tells me that you have the resources, whether legal or illegal, to live outside your parents' home. I'm not okay with that. All right, Ms. Weehang?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, there was a problem, family problem with the mom, which I believe it was contributed to her leaving. I've spoken to grandma, so, and she's not going back to mom because that's the problem, and I don't think mom is ready to take her. I think they're going to counseling, it didn't work out. However, grandma, because I think unless she has changed her mind, I spoke to her on Saturday, and grandma is willing and ready to take her, and Alisa herself also has a plan, because I did ask her if you have reduced, what's your plan? So, and she can, get the coordinate of her plan is, say that she has been a really good basket, she's been one of our standing for it. And also the department even recommended that they are not opposed to releasing her, even though they need like specifically recommend it. And they say that if you would release her on DM, her psychological is not until August 18th, and then she's gonna come back to court for that assessment.
So, Ms. Susan, we have one 16-year-old girl doesn't have a problem with their mom.
I mean, my children,
Well, you just may not know what the problem is. So why didn't she go with grandma before? Like, what is this living with a boyfriend for 6 months when she's 16 years old? Grandma, I mean, did she ever reach out to you to live with you?
She did live with me for 3 years. Then
Okay, so when she's having problems with mom, why didn't she come back to you?
we never discussed that because I didn't want to deal with the situation that she put me through with the 3 years mental state.
Right.
So now I'm willing to give her another chance and be with me. But I want her to go through everything that she needs to do on her own.
Like, I just don't know. Did JPS ever do a tox screen on her?
They did a tox screen. Matter of fact, JPS is the one that told me that she was positive for marijuana.
And that's it?
That was it. There was some circulation out there that she might have been pregnant. The pregnancy test, she was not pregnant. In regards to the living situation, Alyssa has burnt a lot of bridges with her family members. At the last court hearing, that was the issue we was in. If the court decided to release her, where would she go? Since the last court hearing, we have had communication with Alyssa's mom and grandmother has stepped up.
So her behavior level dropped. What was that about?
Her behavior level has never dropped, Your Honor. She's been a level 1 since she was first able to become level 1.
I see 621, you got to one outstanding. Did it drop just one acceptable?
When you come into the program, Your Honor, she's a level 2. I think it takes 3 days for her to become a level 1.
Was it already 18 days? Yeah, I guess so. So Grandma, what's gonna be different this time?
It's gonna be on her to be right. I do want her to get,
Do you have anything to indicate that she will be different?
kind of hard to say.
Have you been talking to her while she's back here?
I've talked to her on the phone mostly every day. She'll call me.
Have you visited her?
I haven't visited her, no.
Do we allow grandparents to visit or not yet?
It's just immediate family, Your Honor.
My problem is 16-year-old girl out living on the streets. Grandma, are you asking for me to release her to you? Or are you just saying that you're available?
I would ask for you to release her to me. But she was on a monitor, if she got her mental taken care of,
Like, is she on her prescription?
she was on a few prescriptions, yeah.
Is she receiving that now?
No, Your Honor. I believe when I first received her, she did not want to take her prescription.
Okay.
And I received her in September, and by December, she was on that.
So since she came back in, she's not on medication?
No, Your Honor.
Did I order psychiatric?
No, Your Honor. I attempted to get one prior to coming to court last week, but I was not able to make contact with the person that scheduled that.
Did we talk to mom about the last time she saw the doctor, or mom has the prescriptions?
We did. I don't recall whether or not mom has the prescription.
Has mom showed up at all to any of these?
No, Your Honor. This is our second one. Grandma's the first parent to show up.
She would have been here today though, but she had an emergency with her younger child, had to go to the hospital.
I'm just trying to figure out why mom didn't get her prescription to us.
I don't know if they even asked her about to drop off the prescription, so.
Mr. Thomas?
Your Honor, to be honest with you, I don't recall having that conversation.
Okay. But had she shown up at the previous hearings, I would have told her to.
That would be correct, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Judge, I'm so sorry that, what Anissa is telling me is that they weren't able to see a psychiatrist to get a briefing and reassessment because of COVID. So they weren't able to, do that, but I don't know. But for
I
sure,
think your client's lying to you, because they were all doing remote. Like prescription refills, doctor wouldn't stop because of COVID. So, I mean, I don't think you're lying to me, Susan. I think your client's lying to you, so.
That's what my mom told me.
I know that it's a good time, the relationship is not, but you know, I think I can, speak to the mom and get that going, if that is the courts.
That's what I need, is I need for her to get the medication she's prescribed.
Yes,
So Grandma, here's the problem. If I was just to release her to you now, without her medication or any kind of plan, I think we're just setting ourselves up for the same problems that you had before. All right. Ms. YYYYY, just figure out, get me a plan, whether it's we find out who the doctor is and we can do a remote. If we can set up an appointment, I can order JPD to take her to the doctor. I don't mind doing that. But Alyssa, I don't want to release you without your prescriptions in hand, knowing that you take them. Because you have a history of not taking, you also have a history of self-medicating with THC, okay? And you just can't do that. So I want you out of here. This is a misdemeanor offense, but I don't want to release you to just get the exact same thing that we've already done, which is the problems, which I think kind of relate back to mental health. Maybe for you, maybe your mom as well, I don't know, right? But it just seems like it'd be a really bad idea to release you right now like this. But as soon as Ms. YYYYY can get, so I'm not even saying we have to get the medication, get me a plan, and I'm okay with that. Okay?
Yes, you know.
All right, thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Josiah. Yes. Thank you. All right, this is where best friends playing with guns, accidental discharge, killed a friend. You have the parent here?
Yes.
The victim's family here?
They're here as well, Your Honor.
All right. So I know Josiah and the victim were close friends. I don't know how much of a danger Josiah is, because I think he has no history with this department. I want to know how y'all feel. Like as far as, this is about detention, it's not about a punishment or anything like that. Do y'all feel like, trying to divorce that in your mind, and I'm not going to necessarily do what you say, I just want your input. Do you feel like Josiah is a danger to others that feels to be released?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and why would he be a danger?
Why? Because my brothers are gone. He already done killed them. They're over there basically harassing my brother.
They,
I don't know if he's sending people out and talking to people like his friends, or whatever, but they are already going to my brother and basically harassing his gravesite.
But it's not Josiah. I mean, he's here.
It's people that Josiah knows. Because on their Instagram and on everything of theirs, they said free Jojo, which says Josiah.
Okay. So those people are acting bad. I'm trying to wonder, what is it about Josiah being here?
Well, here's my part. He ran one time, he'll run again.
No, he turned himself in. Like he hired an attorney and turned himself in.
When they put a warrant out for
But he
it.
ran from the house.
Okay. Right.
And it was supposed to stay.
He asked me if he should stay or leave, and I told him to stay.
Right.
And he still ran and left. And then I had to deal with all of them trying to question and ask me if me and my son.
Hold on, just one person talking at a time. Okay.
They asked me if me and my son did that to my son. You know, I love my kids. I never hurt my kids. You know, he just stayed there. I wouldn't have to go through all that. And
Right.
I just don't want him to run, you know.
I understand. All right.
Can I say something? And I know that they were friends, they were close friends, like my brother would claim him to the T, like they were so freaking close, like even if it was an accident, I would at least appreciate him to claim up to what he did to my brother.
This is not, ma'am, this is not, ma'am, this is a detention hearing. This is not about what actually happened. I don't even know if it actually happened or not, okay? This is simply about what he's accused of and deciding whether to detain him or to release him into the community with conditions, okay? So I'm not trying to invalidate what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying with courts, there's a time and place for everything. I'm interrupting because I don't want to hear information that may cause a problem later on, okay? All right, Josiah, this is one of those, just kids with a gun, regardless of whether somebody died or not. But this is about just me making the community safer. I'm just very concerned that you even have access to guns. At this point, I'm going to continue to detain you.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I want to clear up some stuff that him running.
I'm not even worried about that right now. I mean,
I'm just saying, my office was trying to get him turned in as of Monday, I believe it was June 14th. And if anybody was hindering the apprehension of this young man, it was Fort Worth Detective on the case, because we sent him we had him at the door of the detention area when he finally issued a warrant. And as far as the reason he left, it was the brother Cameron. Everybody was freaking out in the house, and Cameron told him to leave. Okay, this kid has known him. It's been his best friend since 3rd grade. I mean, and he's done everything you asked him to do as far as level 1 outstanding. Been perfect since he's been here. He took a beat down in here and didn't lift a finger because he did what you wanted him to do.
I get it. Mr. Houston, but even on these misdemeanor UCWs, it's even rare to release them at the first detention hearing. So it's just, I always tap the brakes and slow down, regardless of whether this is a homicide case or not. Just anything involving kids and guns, I'm very careful. If guns are actually discharged, I'm more careful. With the big results, I'm even more careful. It's a process. And Mr. Houston, I know you practice here regularly and you get it. Josiah, I just need you to understand it's a process. Even though allegedly what you're here for, or what you're allegedly here for, is an instantaneous moment in time, when a gun is involved, as long as I'm the judge, getting released is not an instantaneous moment, it's a process. And you have to, I hope you appreciate that, respect that, listen to your attorney. He knows me, I'm very consistent with this. But to me, it doesn't matter if it's unlawfully carrying a weapon to capital murder. It's always been a process for me to be comfortable releasing a kid. It's more about the fact that you even had an access to a gun that I don't know if I was released to. There'd be other guns that you have access to that I don't know about, who's getting it to you, where you've got them stashed, I just don't know. And I don't want to ask you because you have the right to remain silent. I don't want you to implicate yourself. But that is why I'm very careful about this whenever children have guns, is I don't know what kind of access they have to. You had access to one, so I don't know if you have access to 100 more, or that was it. I just don't know. So I take this very slow and carefully. All right, you're doing what your attorney tells you to do. That's what you need to do. He's a good attorney. Okay, Mom and Dad, I hope you understand my thought process. It is nothing special about your son. This is even on the misdemeanor cases. I'm always very, I think there was one earlier, unlawfully carrying a weapon that I didn't release, and it's a misdemeanor, okay? So it's a process, please trust your son's attorney. All right, so I just want to decide to go and continue to detain you, thank you. Kaylin,
I love you, baby.
yes. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Daniels. All right, so Kaylin, you have been here for 4 months now. You're almost 16. Fourth PD brought you in. Oh, this is Mr. Brender's office. Somebody here from Mr. Brender's office? So we're trying to get you North Texas.
You have small look at that.
Yes,
Within about 2 to 3 weeks, that should open up right now.
event should open up in 2 to 3 weeks. All right, Kaylin, I can't let you go right now. I know you're level outstanding, but I have concerns about culpability for offenses. If I was to let you go, good news is 2 to 3 weeks. I want that for you. You can start your program, get back here, take care of business, get back home. Okay? All right, thank you, Kaylin. You don't have a parent here, correct? Fred. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Fred, you've been here for 2 weeks. Fourth PD went to AutoZone, a very individual with a pistol in their waistband, getting in and out of vehicle with 3 other people. Got on scene. Front passenger was Fred Taylor, had a 40 caliber pistol in the area, his area of the vehicle, taken into custody. There was no one else in the vehicle. Store employees identified you with a pistol, and you refused to provide a UA. So, level outstanding as of today. What did Fred do, Jorge?
Just big shows close to 5 inches.
So he dropped out to 187. Where the, hello? Okay, so you know who's in the car with him? You know where the gun came from, allegedly? You know what dress he's using?
Oh, marijuana.
That's it?
Yeah.
You know where he gets the weed from?
Probably the older guy that him and the other kids been hanging out with.
Okay. So how are we going to stop that?
I think this dude, him being here, I think has made a big difference.
You've been talking with him,
Every day,
visiting him,
every Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday? Fred seems to be growing up.
Yes, sir.
Or your gun was not stolen, correct?
That's good. The adult contained, they were listed wrong.
They're all what?
That.
So you know what that tells me, Mom? Is that Fred said he would pick up this case for them as a misdemeanor to avoid them getting a felony. And going to do is felon possession is 3rd-degree felony, so they can be up to doing up to 10 years. But if Fred picks up the case, then they can walk it off. They're all felons, were they on supervision? Do we know? All of them?
I think 2 of them were on parole. And 1 of them just gets out.
Do we know their ages?
I don't know their exact ages, but they're all adults.
Come on, help me out, Mom. This is just making me really uncomfortable. Right? You may not even know this. Right? This may be news to you.
I do.
Okay.
I only spoken to one of the young men once before all this happened.
My concern is how are we going to keep Fred out of TDC? And that's what I want. All right, so Mom, I guess he lives with you?
He lives with that.
With Dad?
Yes.
You're Fred Senior?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we going to do different this time with Fred Junior?
Well, I found a Young People of America's program. I've been talking with them. They kind of know about his situation or whatnot. And I was gonna, introduce him to that, see if that's something he can make new friends. His problem is his friends. He just needs to make new friends.
It always is. Yes, Julie.
Yes, Your Honor. Fred would like to add that it's his understanding that his father is going to provide a job for him throughout the summer, so that will keep him busy and make sure he's under his father's supervision, whatever his father's having.
Dad, what do you do?
I don't recycle.
Right, so Fred got picked up at 7 o'clock at night after work hours. Right? I don't know how working with Dad is going to keep them from hanging out with the same people. Corey, do we have anybody, any of the store employees that's identify Fred with the gun, or just one of the black males?
Okay, they identified him with the gun, but they identified him walking back and forth between the car to the car he was coming.
Fred, what's so tough for me right now is part of me wonders if this is a defining moment in your life. When you're looking at, if I let you go, get caught up and say, well, you get picked up for this case. You don't understand the link between the people you're hanging out with and how those people have been to prison. And when you hang around people that have been to prison, usually you have, let's put it this way, you're not so special, so smart that you'll avoid making mistakes that they made, okay? In fact, I would say you're probably worse than that because you picked up your first case even before you became an adult. If anything, you're a worse criminal, you're just not lucky. All right, so my hard part right now is deciding, is this a moment in your life, in Fred Jr.'s life, that we do everything right, we can avoid you going to TDC? Or is this a point where no matter what I do, you're gonna go to TDC anyways? Or if I play it wrong, you'll end up in prison. I just have this theory that I really try and trust the parents as much as I can. Mom and Dad, I'm just gonna go with you and trust you. You know Fred better than I do. You're saying you changed him. I'm gonna trust you on this one. Fred, I am gonna release you. I'm gonna release you on monitor. I'm also gonna release you with the condition that you only hang around people that your mom and dad have met and that they approve of. If they haven't met them or approve of them, then you have no business hanging out with them, as long as this case is going. So if you don't break those rules, you can end up back here. You're gonna follow their rules, then actually I think we'll do okay. All right, thank you, Fred. Kyrie Ann. Yes. Diane, 17 years old. You're on probation for failed ID. All right, Ms. Cruz, help me out here. Why are we, I'm missing something. DM violation?
Yes. In violation.
And you just had a DM violation recently?
Yes, so you're 17. Or somewhere around there.
Right.
You know, the lady mother was sick. And his father is very concerned because he does not appear to follow the rules.
So can you tell me more? DM violation, how far was he gone?
I'm not sure how far he was gone, I just know that he was at several different locations throughout the night. He was supposed to be at work. Dad went to pick him up at work to go to another place that they already had time out for, but he wasn't at work.
Okay. Well, you gave him the timeout. He represented to you, Ms. Cruz, that he would be at a certain place. He wasn't there, so decisions have consequences. You're free to make a choice, Diane. You're just not free to choose the consequence. This one, we're going to take you. Thank you. Thank you. This is the way that. Kirsten. Yes. Thank you. Kirsten, you're 16 years old. You were here in 2016. I guess you were 12. You were 11 at the time for carrying a weapon in a prohibited place. Came back later for criminal trespass in 2018. Now, on Friday, Arlington Police PD brought you in. They're giving a tip about a missing girl flyer posted at local 7-Eleven, and you were listed as missing. They provided an apartment number nearby and a male occupant that was your boyfriend, believed to be at least 30. And went to apartment, got no answers, spoke with boyfriend's mom. And they got into the apartment, found, he confirmed it was 32, but you gave a wrong date of birth that made you 17. Or you were 16, and a runaway report from CPS. While they were detaining you, you escaped the room, ran out of the police station. They caught up with you, so you picked up a felony escape charge, and you're positive for marijuana and cocaine. Any chance that the adult picked up a sexual assault case?
I didn't receive any.
Right. Okay. All right, well, do we have anybody from parents here? Oh, hello.
Hey,
Yeah, how long have y'all been involved?
we took DMCA for in April
Of this year? Okay. And is it with termination? Or
without termination. She's been on the run since November.
Oh, okay. So what is the plan for Kirsten?
So we have a temporary emergency placement for her,
Okay,
foster home that would do only take her for 2 weeks,
okay.
but that's all that we have right now.
So what do y'all need on the longer term?
I think since she does have a history of running, and we're looking for a more secure placement,
Okay,
we need to set up interviews.
sure. How about this? I know sometimes I'm real tough on the department. I'm actually gonna try. This may surprise you. I'm okay holding here to the next 10 day. And at that point, you'll have that placement that's supposed to go for 2 weeks, but I want her to show me that she can follow the rules. If she can prove that well, then I'm going to give her a chance at your placement. At which point, like here's something you have to understand, it's very different with juvenile cases with CPS. CPS, if you run away, then they list you to run away. The police come across you, they can arrest you and bring you here, or they choose not to. But that's the police officer's choice. If you have a juvenile case pending and I issue a warrant, the police officer has no choice, they have to pick you up. Right, so now that you have this juvenile case on you, which is the failed ID and the escape, then we're going to deal with this all the way up until, well, just depends on jurisdictional issues, okay? Until you're an adult. So this is, I know I'm tough on the department, but I'm gonna try and, this is actually kind of giving you all some grace. So you have, the next Sunday hearings, so two full weeks. Then if he does well, I'll release her to you guys when you have that foster placement, which gives you another, so it gives you a month to try and figure something. Does that sound fair?
Yes, thank you.
Probably more than you expected today, but I'm really not happy with the cocaine. And Kirsten, that's why. If the cocaine wasn't there, then we would probably be having a different situation. So Ms. McGonigal, your client seems to be dying to say something. I think it's probably a good idea.
She would like to ask to be allowed to go home to that foster placement today and not wait 2 weeks. She does not feel that being in detention is the best place for her.
Well, so the answer is no, but I agree with your client, Kirsten. I agree this is not the best place for you, but it is also not the worst place for you. If you're living in some apartment or hotel with a 30-year-old man smoking weed and snorting cocaine, that's far worse than here. So that's kind of the situation that you provided for yourself. It's not appropriate. So while this isn't the best, it's better than where you came from. So I'm going to continue. If you're low on seating at the next 10-day hearing, the department should be here. I'm okay releasing you to that foster. Okay? Thank you, Kirsten. Daniel. Good one. All right, Daniel, you were almost 17. So yesterday, turn yourself in for a warrant that we should put you. Judge Terry signed a warrant for not reporting, leaving home without permission from your mom or probation. Back in May, you were placed on deferred prosecution by the DA's office for criminal trespass. Grand Prairie was dispatched to a vacant apartment, met with the manager, and found one female and 2 males inside, and they seem to have moved in. So. And there's another criminal mischief of apartment complex and vacant apartment, and the door was locked. So they've been having a problem with kids breaking into vacant apartments. Do we have a parent here? No. Should work, no parent. All right, well, Daniel, you're on is it on probation or DPP?
She was on the first prosecution. It was reopened in the office.
Okay. And Daniel, you had a chance just to walk away with nothing. And now evidently, here's the problem, Daniel, is if you're on any kind of supervision, you're promising that you're going to show up. If you don't show up, then poor Ms. Peters here is trying to track you down, trying to make phone calls, sending emails. Like, you make her job hard. Make her job easy, then she just wants to leave you alone, finish out your preferred, and be done, and become an adult. You know, there's no problems. But when you make her job more difficult, you make everyone's job more difficult. So at this point, Daniel, I'm going to go and detain you. Let's figure out more details about why you're not reporting your mom, figure out what your attitude's like, and then I'll decide that. But for now, man, you got to get, I'm sure you're going to get probation again. But you have to understand that if you want probation, that's you saying, Judge Kim, I'm going to follow all the rules. I'm at the very least, I'm just going to show up. You know, you don't have to make straight A's, but you have to make an A in attendance. Does that make sense? Just got to show up. Okay? All right, thank you, Daniel. Francisco. Yes. Thank you. Francisco, never here before. Do you have a parent here?
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Mom and dad.
Okay. They speak English?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Francisco, are you an American citizen? All right. So on Sunday, 4th PD brought you in. About 12:30 in the morning, they were dispatched a robbery call. When they got there, met with the victim, said he was at a party. When approached by an unidentified juvenile, said his brother wanted to speak with him outside. Victim went there, met by Francisco and another unidentified juvenile who went to a secluded area of a parking lot, confronted them. Says that Francisco confronted him about having danced with his girlfriend at the party and demanded that the victim pay him for this. So like a pimp. Dance with my girl, you gotta give me money. The victim told Francisco and his companion he had no money, demanded the silver chain as payment. Victim refused, said it was a gift. Francisco allegedly pulled a black pistol from his waistband, demanded the chain. Victim complied, ran back to the house, called police, and saw Francisco meeting with the other person in Tahoe. When they took the victim's statement, Francisco returned, turned himself over, made a statement that he was the actor, and the other male had the chain. Admitted to taking the chain for feeling disrespected. They found 2 small baggies of white powdery substance identified as cocaine, weighing 0.73 grams. So Jorge, it says during the search, is that found on Francisco's person?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, sorry, this was. All right, so mom, dad, got a question. Do you have any idea where the gun came from?
No, I mean, I took them to the party.
Okay.
I was with them.
Any
He
idea
didn't
where
have a gun with them.
Any idea where the cocaine came from?
No. And I'm surprised that y'all telling me this, because I mean, he doesn't go out the house. I mean, it's rare that I see him go out the house. He works with his dad from 6 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. And he stays home because I'll be there. Probably I'm there all day.
Right. Or Francisco, I think you ought to know that for the offense of aggravated robbery, in the right situation, you could be looking at 40 years of prison for this. Okay? So this is a very serious offense. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's the potential outcome. In all likelihood, you'll get an offer of probation. That's really up to the DA to make that decision. But I want to let you know how bad this can be. Tell me about this girlfriend, Mom. Have you met her?
I only saw her once, and that was at that party.
So how long have they been dating?
Probably a week. Not even, I don't even know her. I haven't even seen her. He only showed me her that day.
Okay, so Mom and Dad. All right, so tell me how Francisco does in school.
Terrible.
Oh, okay. That's a sign.
That's all I can tell you. He does terrible.
Well, I will tell you, for me, this is not new with Francisco. Whenever kids brought in with a gun case, I always detain them. I like to slow things down, see what's going on. The fact that there's a handgun involved, there is threats involved, there's theft involved, there's cocaine involved. I think there are all kinds of other problems going on right now that I think we will just have to find out. So at this point, based on the seriousness of the offense and the dangers to the community, I'm not intending to let Francisco go. Okay, he's going to stay for a bit until he shows me that he's something better, that he deserves to be let go. No matter how much I seem to like you, Mom and Dad, if Francisco doesn't pay attention to you, it doesn't matter how good of parents you are. Okay?
Oh, I know. I've been trying to put him in here for a while anyway. So.
Yeah, well, that's not your choice. That's my choice. Just in all fairness, okay? But I'm just letting you know at this point, Francisco has given me no reason to think that it would be appropriate to let him go home.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Vivian. Yes, right. Yes. So we have to, I'll speak on that. All right, Xavier, you're on probation for burglary of habitation. And back on July 1st, you left home 3 separate occasions without permission. Do you have a parent here? Hello. Okay. You left and come back till 2 o'clock in the morning, verified by our electronic monitor tracking. You turn himself in with mom. And let's see, at least we're negative for all substances. So mom, do you know where you went?
From what I was told, he went to the movies with.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
From what I was told, he went to the movies with his girlfriend. And from what I was told.
Okay, so why was he out till 2?
That night, I got out there midnight. I had to go pick up my daughter and come home around 1. I thought he was in the house until he called my phone and asked me to come pick him up. And I told him the same way you got there, you can get on.
And then whenever you got home, you brought it here?
I was advised by the probation officer the next day that he gave a warrant. And when he got off of work, I called him.
And this is determined sentence or indeterminate? Indeterminate, okay. All right, well, Xavier, you know, when you violate the EM, there's a consequence. I mean, you knew that. So at some point you thought going to a movie with your girlfriend was worth coming back to Kimbo. I mean, that's, I mean, your attorney's telling you not to speak. No. I mean, your attorney's telling you not to speak. He can't make you not talk, but.
I know myself. I didn't just go to the movie with my girlfriend. I went to the movie with my girlfriend and a couple of brothers, but I thought that my mom had requested time off me to go, so I went. And the movie ran late, and I thought it would back home just because it wasn't on purpose. I didn't purposely violate my EM. I didn't purposely do it.
So, Mr. Miller, have we ever given a timeout of EM to go see a movie at midnight?
No, the movie wasn't at midnight. I left way before my mom had to go to work. I left around my stepdad dropped me off at their house at around 9 o'clock, and the movie started around 10. Like I said, the movie ran late, and I thought it would. I had to Uber back home because my mom had to go to work in the morning. She was working all night, tired. So I had to move back home. I had to wait for the Uber. It was really all about time. But like I said, I didn't intentionally violate my EM.
So, Xavier, I see what you're saying, right? And this is part of what I see. I see the 16-year-old young man, right? Because I was like that too, right? And a lot of times you think about life as whether you meant well or you meant to deceive somebody, it's about your intentions. And when you'll realize as you become an adult, it's not about intentions, it's about results, right? And that's just part of growing up. And that's just life. When you have a job, it's not whether you intend to come back from lunch on time, you got it. If you don't, then there's consequences. You can lose your job, which means then now you can lose your apartment, you can't feed your family, can't use your car, like everything can fall apart just because you meant to come back from lunch, but you just didn't plan it right, it just didn't happen. Right? And that's the hard reality of life. It's people don't judge you on your intentions, they judge you on your results. And that's here we are now. Right? We're looking at the situation. I'm looking at this as just a great learning moment for you. It sucks. Like I understand this is not what you want to hear, but at the end of the day, it's about results. It doesn't matter what you thought. If you thought JPD gave you the time off, if you thought your mom, before you make the big decision on leaving the house when you're on EM, you can't just think assume that somebody else did their part. It's your responsibility. Your mom's not responsible for you staying in the house or not. You're responsible, especially if you're getting to almost 17, right? You're getting to that age.
I was doing good on it and everything. I was doing good on it. I ain't cut it off or nothing.
Which is why I'm okay, I'm not gonna hold you here that long. I'm gonna hold you because you broke the rule, right? And you knew when you left, and they explained it to you, Judge Kim, if you violate again, you're coming back here. The other judges before me didn't really care. I care, right? That's the deal that we have. But you'll get another chance. And here's what's going for you, right? Most kids that just violate their EM, if you cut off the EM next time, I probably wouldn't even let you go anytime soon. The fact that you didn't cut it off, the fact that you didn't stay out all night, the fact that you're negative on your drug test, the fact that you turned yourself in, these are all the things that's going for you. But do you really think that I would be Judge King if you had no consequence for violating EM?
But like I said, it wasn't intentional.
And I think he really understands it's not intentional. It's just that for every action, there's a reaction. If I didn't text you and tell you, hey, you said it was okay for you to go, you should have stayed at home.
And that's unfortunate, that's just part of being a man. I mean, that's just, you're stuck with that weird point in life where you're, and here's the thing, let me tell you this, right? The only thing in life that we can truly control is how we react. That's the only thing you have control over right now. And so this is a great moment for you to decide, how am I going to react to the situation? That's what, you can't control my decision. You can't control what your mom says. You can't control what JBT does. You can control how you react. Man up, you take your lump, say, you know what, I screwed up. I'm going to own it, get this behind me, and do better next time. Then life is great. But you sit there and think of yourself as a victim, right? That the system's unfair. It's going to be a miserable life, right? So I am giving you credit for the good things that you did. Didn't smoke weed, didn't stay out all night, didn't commit a new offense. What else, Mom? Turn himself in. You know, these are all the good things for you, but if you think this means that you don't get detained at all for violating the EM, that's why you don't violate the EM. There's a consequence everyone has. You're not special good or special bad to me. All right? You're just another young man that I'm trying to help out and make sure you understand what's that. You're free to make a choice, you're just not free to choose the consequence. Okay? All right. Thank you, Xavier. I'm thinking actually, Mr. Miller, I mean, it seems like he was mostly innocuous, get to level 1 up. Actually, bring him in. I want to tell him to his face. Hey, sir. David, I just want to give you the respect of telling you this. So in person, yeah, get to level 1-0. We'll let you back on the monitor. It's on you. And most of the time, it's not usually not that quick. But I'll do that. You did everything else right. So that's only 3 days here. And then I'm okay with ours. Oh, it's been that long? All right, that works for me. So you guys go home. Oh, with the EM, but what do you think happens next time?
I'll stay at home.
That's the way it is. And whose fault is that? All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mom, we'll just work from here. You're lucky. That's right. Tell you what, it wasn't worth the movie. It wasn't worth the price of admission. Sunita.
Just, I believe.
Oh, is that the one?
Yes.
Okay. I think I already signed that. The last one is Richard. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh. Do we have a parent? Yeah. Oh, hello. All right. Richard Vargas, you're 14. You've been here for last May for assault family violence, which got deferred prosecution for. Then in July of last year, possession of controlled substance, DA dismissed. September of last year for assault bodily injury, which the DA dismissed. So this is 4th time here? Give a drug test and he's positive for marijuana. So Grapevine PD brought you in. Dad called the police about you having a gun in his room, walked in there, caused you to jump up, try to cover the guns. Police took possession of 2 9mm pistols, which were stolen out of reversed. Didn't tell the police where you got the guns from, saying there's no switch, it's no snitch, and then brought over here. So, all right. Well, no snitches end up staying here for a while. All right. Okay, so unlock and carry a weapon. Richard, just so you know, that since these guns are stolen, you could, right now these are misdemeanor offenses. You could be charged with the offense of theft of a firearm, since you have possession of a stolen firearm, okay, which is now a felony. And the adult courts, that could be up to 10 years of prison for that, right? So this is a pretty serious offense, or it could be serious. I'm gonna let you know that my concern is if I let you go, you have access to other guns. And so I don't want to release you. I'm also gonna let you know that if you take any kind of probation deal on this one, then you're gonna have to admit where the guns came from. Like, that's gonna be part of the deal. Like, I'm not gonna accept any kind of plea bargain unless you admit where it comes from. So just something to chew on. If you're gonna hold on to that, then you can have your jury trial and we can figure out what happens to you. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna hold on to this, that you don't talk about where the guns came from, then I mean, you can hold on as long as you want. I'm not gonna honor it. And you, in theory, can stay here for years and years waiting. Okay?
I can ask you a question.
You can ask me a question.
Going through this station. So they told me the station for my last name is on Friday and Sunday. I do they gotta make an appointment to go?
She can go over that with your dad and your attorney. I do have a question for you. Were you born here in the States? Okay. Always worry about constant notification when it comes to guns. Okay, so Richard, going to detain you for now. If you explain that to Dad so he understands, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Especially,
Yes.
because I've been dealing with Richard and his family for a minute. You can today order placement searches and go ahead and get them into the line for psychologicals. I know this will be
Are we going to need it?
Yes.
Okay. If you're representing the court, then that's what's needed, then let's go and do that. I'm trying not to clog up the line because it's a wait for these psychologicals, like 6 weeks.
I'm representing to the court because I know.
Okay. No, I understand. So we'll do that. Felicia, so ordering the psychological and then the placement search after. All right, thank you. All right, that concludes, I think that concludes the hearing. We have one more? Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Oh, that guy, okay.
What happened to Mr. Cole?